Welcome, everyone, to Burge's Power Hour. And tonight's call is all about self-forgiveness. And last month we had a call about orbiting in love, and I think a lot of people wanted to be on that call because it's all about relationships and love. And tonight's call is all about self-forgiveness and forgiving oneself for whatever may be coming up for you in your life. And we have people from Florida, all over Florida, up and down Florida, Rhode Island, and New York, and Georgia, and I'm not sure where else because we have shy people on the call as well. So those of you who are listening to the recording, I would love for you to get out a pencil and paper as well. And my folks that are on the call, you're lucky because you get to work with me on one-on-one here if you choose to. So if you can get somewhere where you have pen and paper, we might you might be able to do a little bit of home play or a little bit of play with me and find out maybe why there is things that may be coming up in your life where you haven't forgiven yourself for something, where you go into guilt about something you've done in your life or even haven't done in your life, or shame. Guilt and shame are the two culprits of self-forgiveness. In other words, if you're feeling guilty or ashamed, then that's typically where we're going to go and find out why and what's it all about, and then also shift out of that so that you can feel innocent and accepted. So without further ado, that's what we're going to be handling tonight. So just to kind of give you an idea of what happens when people go into some kind of environment or a relationship or a job or some kind of experience that they feel like they haven't done their best, or they feel like they're letting people down, or they feel like they're a failure, or they are afraid to move forward, or maybe you've reacted in a way that you felt bad about. So all of these kinds of things that happen in our lives, that sometimes it brings us right into, adds to our layer of guilt that we already have from long ago, or it adds to our layer of shame. Now, shame can be very, very debilitating for some people. And a lot of times our shame and our guilt it's a learned thing from when we grew up. So those of you who have been with me for a while that have done our Essence of Being workshops or have been working with me, you know that a lot of this is unconscious. And for those of you who've never heard this before, that let me just explain what bubble talk is. Bubble talk is that unconscious thought that keeps you from getting what you want in your life. It's the little bubble above your head like a cartoon character, and that cartoon character's thinking something. It's that little bubble up there. So a lot of times we may do affirmations, or we may think about what we want in our lives, and for some reason they just don't quite get there, or they don't get there fast enough for us. And so sometimes it could be because that bubble talk or that unconscious thought, it's not aligned with our conscious thought. And I've always given the analogy of the brake and the gas. So if you're driving in your car and your car is wanting to go somewhere, whatever that looks like for you, and you put the gas on, the gas is your desire. The gas is what you want. The gas is what you choose, what you dream about, your desires. And the brake is your resistance or your belief that you can't have it. And so a lot of times people drive around with their gas and their brake on at the same time, and obviously you don't get very far because you get stuck. When you try to drive your car with your gas and your brake on at the same time, it spins your wheels. So what many of us do is we let go of the gas because we all know how to let go of what we want. I think we all know how to settle and just to say, never mind, that wasn't for us. It wasn't meant to be. So we let go of the gas. But I'm here to tell you that there's another way, and all of us sharing this tonight, sharing our desires and how to let go of the resistance, part of that is really letting go of our own shame about ourselves and our guilt about things. So that break can really represent the fears that we have, which is resistance. It can represent the guilt, the shame that we have. That represents resistance. So I'm going to give you some tools that you can use to help you let go of the resistance and not the desire. Because if you let go of the brake, just keep your desires going, and you'll just go 100 miles an hour once your brake's off. So that is what we're going to be doing tonight, is working on these tools and going down there and seeing what's in that unconscious brain of maybe why you feel like there's something blocking you and that you feel guilty or ashamed about. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. Now, do any of you have any questions before I get into some of the meat of the call? Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. So what I'd like for us to do is, I just want to remind you that you don't have to believe what I'm talking about, but this is my belief, and I'm not here to try to shift anybody's beliefs about anything. What I tell people is, look, use what you want, what resonates with you, just keep it and just throw away the rest, okay? If there's something that you have an aha about or something that you'd like to consider, maybe there's another way of believing that might serve me better, then go for it. If not, that's fine too, because it's also my belief that the most powerful force that we have is what we say to ourselves and believe. So this particular part I'm going to tell you about before we go digging is from someone called Babaji, and what Babaji talked about was that we are all actors, okay, for each other. We all are actors in our own script. So we're the writer, the director, the producer, the lead character for every script. Everyone else plays in our creation exactly as we direct them to. So this applies to ourselves as well. We have a little actor in our heads saying, this is how I'm supposed to perform. This is what I'm supposed to do in my life. And we do a lot of supposed tos. We do a lot of should-haves. And we should do this. And we're supposed to do that. And we're supposed to be this by a certain age. Or we're supposed to have this because that's what success means to us. Now, all of those supposed tos and should-haves, they come from a very long time ago. They come from outside influences like our parents and like our teachers and our culture and our society and TV and religion and our grandparents and all these outside forces that basically bombard us from birth and say, here's how you're supposed to act. Here's what you're supposed to want. Here's how you're supposed to be. So if you think that you'll be poor and robbed and cheated, an actor will come surely oblige you, because remember, you're the actor, you're the director, you're the producer. If you think you're ill and you're not good enough, then an actor will come transmit, some kind of a disease to you, or they'll do something to you, beat you up or abuse you because you're not good enough. And these are coming from an unconscious belief that you may have about yourself. You don't even know you have it. So if you recognize that these people that you hold grudges against, including yourself, are actors in your own creation, then it's really easy to forgive. And then life is forgiving love. So in the past, when you've forgiven, you've said, hey, you've done wrong to me. Or maybe you point the finger at yourself and say, beat yourself up so much that you self-sabotage yourself so much, okay? But what you might be saying to yourself is, I want you to know I don't want to hold a grudge, so I'm going to try to forget that horrible thing. So such a thought recognizes an illusion. It gives power to a mistake that anybody could do harm to you or that you could do harm to yourself without some form of consent, some kind of unconscious consent. Obviously, we don't walk around going, gee, I'm going to sabotage myself today. I'm going to set myself up for failure so I can feel guilty and ashamed. Obviously, we don't walk around saying that. But there's some kind of an unconscious or subconscious belief about ourselves or some kind of thing that happened to us that we keep adding on to, these layers that just feel even more cumbersome each year, year by year by year. So when we say it that way, though, saying, hey, I don't want to hold a grudge against myself or somebody else, but I'm going to try to forget, that's really not forgiveness. So instead, you could think, I've made a mistake in my thinking to allow another person, including myself, to seemingly hurt me. So I recognize that that person is merely doing what I invited, or I'm merely doing what I unconsciously believed about myself. And that in reality, neither that person, myself, or anybody can hurt me. I'm perfect now, always have been, and always will be. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you something to write down because this is a really great thing to write down to remind yourself. Whenever you feel like you've done something wrong, or you've self-sabotaged yourself, or you feel like you're ashamed about something, just say, I send you love from my heart. And you write your name down. I send you love from my heart. And I forgive you, knowing it is impossible for you to infringe on my perfection. So let me say it again. Now you can use this for yourself or for anyone, really. You say, I send you love from my heart, and you put the name there, and you can say Burge, let's say, or someone else, and I forgive you, knowing it is impossible for you to infringe on my perfection. So this is a real clearing, cleansing kind of a thought to say, you know what? I am perfect just the way I am, and I have chosen to start setting myself up to stop believing that. So I'm going to start sending love from my heart to myself and know that I am forgiven, because really there's nothing to forgive. That's the ultimate forgiveness. And I've jumped over a bunch of steps, so if I've lost you, that's okay. Just know that the ultimate forgiveness in my world is realizing there's nothing to forgive. That doesn't mean that if you've hurt yourself or if someone's hurt you, that it's okay. That doesn't mean that. It's not okay. And it doesn't mean that you have to forget it. I know that people say forgive and forget. Well, it's really difficult to forget if you're still holding on to the pain of it, isn't it? So what this cleansing will help us do is to release the pain. Because many of us really want to punish the other person or punish ourselves. So you have to be able to be willing to give up the desire to punish. Sort of like someone told me, it's like punishing other people or punishing, trying to punish other people or not forgiving someone or yourself is sort of like taking poison and for them. It's like I'm going to really punish you, so I'm going to take this poison. So it really hurts you. It doesn't hurt them. So you can actually say the same thing about yourself, because this call is about self-forgiveness. You know, a lot of times we set ourselves up to say, well, I'll just punish myself and take the poison. And basically you end up not in a very good place when you do that. So one of the tools that I'm going to give you at the end of this call is going to help you with that. I've got a couple of tools to give you. But let's go and see, do you have anything in your subconscious that you're holding back on yourself? You've got some kind of guilt or shame going on about something. So what I want you to do is just write down or think about some time in your life where you were really upset with yourself, that you really screwed up, or that you felt ashamed of something. Just conjure up in your mind maybe something at school or work, relationship. Something you said. Something that maybe you haven't reached a certain goal and you beat yourself up. So think of that. Hopefully everybody's got something. So just think about something that you beat yourself up about. Maybe you can make it like, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm not enough, I haven't made enough money, messed up a relationship, whatever it is, okay? Hopefully everybody's got something. And then write down, I'm upset at myself because, and then just start writing. It's a stream of consciousness writing, where you just start writing things down, just first things that come up. Don't think about it, don't edit it, just write it down. I'm upset at myself because and then just write down as many things as you can. Why are you upset with yourself? And if you've just joined us on the call, what we're writing down is something that you're upset about yourself, something you're ashamed about, or something that you feel guilty about. And if you have background noise, if you could hit *6, that way we don't hear the background noise. I'm upset at myself because and the second part, as soon as you finish writing down your thoughts about that, is write down the reason I can't forgive myself is, or the reason I'm not willing to forgive myself is. The reason I can't or not willing to forgive myself is. And just write down the first things that come up. And after you've written that down, the reason I can't or not willing to forgive myself is, I have another one for you to write here. And those of you who have just joined the call, you can go back and listen to the recording that I'm going to give you. It'll be on the Facebook page, actually, of Essence of Being Facebook page. The next one that you're writing down is, my payoff for not forgiving myself is. My payoff for not forgiving myself is, and what I mean by payoff is, what do you get out of it? What do you get out of it for not forgiving yourself? In other words, you stay stuck, you get to stay stuck. You get to not deal with things. You get to be alone. You get to stay separate so you're not hurt. So finish up that one. What am I getting out of it by not forgiving myself? And the next one is, what am I learning? What am I learning from this incident or from this experience or from this feeling? What am I learning? What's the lesson? Are you learning anything about yourself? And then let's shift that into what you're most grateful for. I'm most grateful for myself. For what? What are you grateful for yourself? I am most grateful for.
Hello, Deanna here.
Hi, Deanna. Welcome.
I'm not hearing anything.
We're in the middle of a process here, so hold on.
Oh.
I am most grateful to myself for what? Just write it down. And then the last one that I want you to write down, we're writing down a lot of things to try to get to our subconscious, unconscious bubble talk beliefs about ourselves. The last one is what life would be like if I forgave myself. What life would be like if I could forgive myself. And if you have background noise, please hit *6 so that we don't hear the background noise, please. *6. What life would be like if I forgave myself.
Hi, it's Sam.
I'm sorry?
Hi, who's this?
This is Verge.
Hi, Verge. It's Sam.
Hi. Go
nice
ahead and
to talk to you. I'm sorry it's very loud here. I'm going to mute out in a second. Just wanted to say hello.
Hi, hon. Calling from North Carolina? South Carolina.
Yes, Helen's sister.
Okay.
In-law.
Great to have you, honey.
Okay.
Yeah,
muting.
Okay.
I am having fun. How are you?
We're in the middle of a process, honey, so go ahead and hit *6. Okay? So everybody on the call, have you...
Katie?
Everybody that you've written down, the 6 things I asked you to write down was, I'm upset because, and it's what you mean about I'm upset of myself because what happened. The second one was the reason I can't or not willing to forgive myself is. The third one I had you write down was my payoff for not forgiving myself is, like, what am I getting out of it? The fourth one is the lesson I'm learning from this is. The fifth one was I am most grateful for myself for. And the sixth one is what life would be like if I could forgive myself. So those are the 6 questions that I had, or statements I wanted you just to kind of dig around in and see what you came up with. So the first 3 really get you in touch with your feelings and why you feel the way you do, and the reason why maybe you can't or willing to forgive yourself, and what you're getting out of it, what your payoff is. So those first 3 are really getting you into the not-so-good feeling place. The last 3, the 4, 5, and 6, was moving you out of that feeling place of shame and guilt to try to get you to go to another place about it. What am I getting? What lesson am I learning from this? Am I learning anything about myself? And what I'm most grateful to myself for, because a lot of times we forget. We forget why we should even like ourselves, much less love ourselves. And then I want you to visualize that last one is, what would life be like if I didn't feel guilty or ashamed? What would my life look like? And that's the part that I really, really, really want you to focus on is, what would it feel like? What would my life be like in relationships, in my job, in my purpose, with my family, with my friends? What would life be like if I felt innocent and accepted myself for who I am? Would it feel any different? Of course it would. So a lot of times we get stuck in that first 3, though, don't we? We get all caught up in what's wrong with us. Why did I do something? I'm not getting it right. I just can't get it right. I'm just not good enough. I almost make it, but just can't quite. So these are triggers. These are triggers for us that keep coming up. It's sort of like a trash compactor, okay? So we were little tiny people with all of these influences coming at us, saying you're not good enough, you can't make it, you got to work hard for your money, you can't get it right. Why can't you be more like your brother or sister? Money doesn't grow on trees. All of these sayings and feelings and thoughts that are bombarding us when we're little, and we start believing all of it and saying, oh, I guess that's true. I guess I can't get it right. Well, I better not make a mistake. I'm going to get hurt. Or I can't get an F. I'll be a failure. I've got to do so much in order to be loved. I've got to do. So many of us are human doings and not human beings. Let me do something in order to feel good about myself, to love myself. So the part that I really want you to focus on is that what would life look like if I didn't have all of that? If I just could go back to the time in my life where I was innocent and accepting of myself. Think about yourselves when you were babies. When you were a little baby, do you think you were innocent? You think you accepted yourself? Go back to that time, because that little child, that little innocent boy or girl is still there. She or he has not gone anywhere. She's still there. He's still there. He's just like a trash compactor, though. All this stuff has been just added on to him or her. Just pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And then we start believing that that's who we really are. It's this big old trash compactor full of guilt and shame. And maybe we've done a lot of work on ourselves. Maybe we've done a lot of release. We've let the pressure cooker off. We've actually had the trash compactor, cleaned it out some. That's great. But what happens is things happen in our life that triggers us. It triggers those same feelings that we have. Oh, there it is again. I thought I released that. I thought I let go of that already. I'm going to beat myself up some more. Because then you beat yourself up thinking, I should have already let that go. Why am I feeling this way? And that's a form of beating yourself up too. So one of the tools that I want to give you is it's mirror work. In other words, stand in front of a mirror. And anytime that you feel like you have beat yourself up or you're not getting it right or you're not good enough or here I go again, I've done something wrong or I just haven't achieved what I want in my life yet, just look at yourself in the morning, every morning. Stand in front of the mirror, naked, just like you were when you were a baby. So we're going to go back to that time in your life when you were innocent and you accepted yourself before all the stuff started piling on you. Because that person is still there. So I want you to look into your own eyes every morning and for 10 times stand there naked, hold your face, and say, I love you. And then hold your shoulders and say, I love you. And then hold your chest and say, I love you. And then hold your tummy and say, I love you. And hold your legs and say, I love you. hold your arms up as wide as you can and say, I love you.
All right.
And then hold your hair. Just caress your hair on the top of your head and all around. Say, I love you. And the whole time you're doing this, you're looking into the mirror. And you're just breathing it in. I love you. And be mindful of what you're feeling right then. Don't just stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, next. That kind of defeats the purpose, okay? You want it to really come in. And see yourself as a little child, a little baby, a little innocent person. If you have a picture of yourself as a little girl or a little boy, put that in the bathroom. Look into their eyes and say, I love you to that picture. And maybe for some of you it sounds hokey or sounds kind of, weird or whatever, but what it does is it reframes any thoughts that you've had up to this point about beating yourself up. It stops it. It's called a pattern interrupt. It interrupts that pattern of sabotage and guilt and ashamed. It starts your day off with loving thoughts about you, about saying to yourself, I'm innocent. I accept myself totally and completely. And if you do it in front of the mirror and naked, it's very cleansing because there's no, there's no veil. It's you, just you and you right there. Nothing's covering you. You can't hide. And you just say, I'm innocent. I accept myself completely and wholly. Accept myself. And look at that little child on the mirror. And look at that little child in your picture. And say to yourself, I love you. 10 times. Because what will happen throughout the day, I'm sure you'll have some triggers that come up where you could go back to that thought of all those things you wrote down. All the things that you just wrote down about yourself. And I know many of us have heard you can't love other people until you love yourself. It's overdone, right? But it's the truth. Truth for me, anyway. It's the truth. I have to love myself first. It's my turn. It's my turn to love who I am and accept myself for who I am because I am innocent. Because our self-judgments, any judgments that we have about ourselves, it's based on what others, particularly your parents, may have seen in you and taught you. So this underlying feeling of shame is just basically a set of beliefs that you just bought into that are not true. And this really helps your self-esteem as well. Here's another thing you can tell yourself. I lovingly recognize and accept my feelings and judge them no more. I lovingly recognize and accept my feelings and judge them no more. That self-judgment is a killer. It's that inner parent, that inner critic that tells us all the things that we heard when we were young. And we set other people up to say that to us, like our bosses or any authority figure or our relationships. We set other people up to say things to us that we somehow, on some level, subconsciously may believe about ourselves. And we point our finger at that person and blame them when in reality they're just our actor coming to tell us things that we believe about ourselves that we really don't want to look at. Because who of us want to sit there and look at ourselves and say you're stupid, or you're not getting it right, or you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not perfect?
Cesar Magnorsky.
Hi, Cesar.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, honey. We're talking about self-forgiveness.
Okay,
so
good.
If you would, just hit *6 so we can not hear the background noise, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So all of the things that you wrote down about yourself, those are reflections of judgment. The things that you just wrote down are things that may not really be true about yourself. So let me see if I can help. Does anybody want to share what they wrote down, or how it shifted for them, or how to let go of these upsets that you have? Does anybody want to share? Did it change? Did it shift? Did you find out something that you maybe didn't know?
I'd be glad to share.
Okay. Who's this?
This is Deanna.
Hey, Deanna.
Let me get back up where I can see what I wrote down. Just to preface, this is perfect, Serge, because I've been in the middle of these processes, and so this is kind of like a booster. Hour, right?
Yeah. It's
Power
hour, girl. So what you got?
Hour, absolute. Please let me mention, I came in late because the text message I got signed up for included me just moments before I called in. So I wanted to share that too.
Okay, thank you, hon.
Apology for coming into the room in the middle. Okay, so tell me, should I just kind of raw read what I wrote down?
Okay.
I came in on the process, what life would be like for me if I could forgive myself.
Yes, okay.
One word, pain-free.
Yes.
Pain-free at all levels of beings. And that was just such exciting. I mean, that was first focused. I just sat there with that. And perfect. Then, I'm sorry?
I said perfect.
Thank you. Yes, it was perfect to say, yeah, booster. I mean, truly, I've been in the middle of a process that much of a story for here. Let's see, to go on. All right, so then you came back and redid the question write-downs from the first part.
Uh-huh.
So I've only got real brief notes because I really couldn't see what to write. I'm upset because something, all myself, all that. You can repeat the question if you want, or, the statement. but the answer for me was pushing too hard, no trust.
Okay. You're pushing yourself too hard?
Pushing myself too hard. But I have to add that I'm actually testing my limits and capabilities for other reasons.
Okay.
So I could maybe get to the payoff with that, but not quite. I'm actually, in some ways, pushing hard for other reasons.
Okay.
Nevertheless, the reason I can't forgive myself is I don't know.
Okay. That's a good answer. It's okay to be in the not knowing. That's okay.
Oh, no, wait a minute. The reason that I really can't forgive myself too well is because I don't really trust.
Is why?
I don't really trust processes and people.
Okay. The reason I can't forgive myself is I don't trust.
Yeah, something like I don't know where to go with that yet.
Okay.
Anyway, that trust piece came up there actually,
Okay.
rather than in the upset because, but maybe it's
Okay.
combo. The payoff for me is sort of like immediate closure or gratification. You know, I'll push till it gets to someplace at times, and
so your payoff for not forgiving you is you get gratification?
my payoff is that I get immediate closure of some sort, positive, negative, whatever.
Oh, okay, great. So
pain. Okay, let's put pain in.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So, you know, whatever it is that I'm after in my pushing too hard piece kind of runs toward that.
Okay.
Closure, you know, whatever.
Got it.
Okay. Some resolution for myself. That's the payoff.
Got it.
Okay.
Whether it hurts or not, at least I'm complete.
That's at least, you know, get what I needed out of that right there,
right.
You know, because I love the lesson learned part.
That's the lesson you learned?
No, I love the next phase, the lesson learned. But the lesson learned from this process is that there's no need to push hard.
Okay, good. And the thing
what?
you're most grateful for is?
The thing I'm most grateful for is, where am I? Most grateful for is, my strengths, willingness, willfulness, and limits that I'm able to set on all this process here. Let's see. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great.
And lesson learned is to know, old phrase I know from runic book, rune book, a quote, do without doing and it all gets done. And that's something that's been a little mantra.
So you have been stuck in the human doingness, pushing yourself to test your limits, but also you're grateful for your willfulness and getting things done as well. So, but even though you may feel pain by doing that, you are willing to do that because it's closure. And what life would be like if you forgave yourself, then you would be pain-free.
Yeah, I think you wrapped it up very well. I think that when I really feel like I would add that I'm in a learning process to understand reserve.
Okay.
And that these experiences that I'm having that I don't want to talk about right now.
That's fine.
And playing into the power hour here. Yeah, just focus,
right.
on the pain free. Yeah.
Okay, so did you feel a shift going from the 1st through up to the 6th?
Oh, absolutely. And when we started looking at ourselves in the mirror, the first response in my little head was, my baby D couldn't look in the mirror. She wasn't tall enough to get up there.
Okay. Okay.
Willful.
Thank you for being the guinea pig, Deanna. That's awesome. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Let me let others share. I know it's just here.
Thank you, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfect in that I'm hoping and trusting that if you use this technique of the 6 statements, that it moves you through your feeling place and it gives you acknowledgement. It's okay to feel what you're feeling, and you can recognize and accept what you're feeling, but moving it through that so that you can get to what lesson am I learning? What's this coming up? Why is this coming up for me now? And what am I grateful for myself? And again, the main thing is to focus on what would life be like if I could just let go, feel innocent, accept myself for who I am, judgment-free. How would that feel? What would life be like? And am I willing to even think about that, write about it, believe it, look at it? So one of the other things that we can say, another thing you can write down, is I release the need to blame myself and to be right. I release the need to blame myself and to be right, and I am willing to see the perfection I release the need to blame myself and to be right, and I'm willing to see the perfection in what is. In other words, remember what I said at the beginning of the call, that there's really nothing to forgive because there is a perfection in, remember, if you believe that you are the actor, the producer, the director of your play, of your life, and you are able to bring people to you, to say things to you that you're really thinking about yourself unconsciously, okay, then you can understand that you are attracting these people to you to say things to you that bring all this up for you to heal it. So that, remember I said about the trash compactor. A lot of things get triggered. And you may have a lot of these thoughts and beliefs about yourself that keep stacking up. And you get to keep saying, see, I'm right. See, I'm right. See, I'm not good enough. See, I can't get it right. See, I just am not perfect. See, I have to work hard. So you get to constantly keep telling yourself, see, I'm right. So that's all that trash compactor stuff that keeps building, that triggers you. So if you release the need to blame yourself and to be right all the time and be willing to see the perfection of what is, then you can perhaps get to a place of understanding that there's really nothing to forgive, including yourself, because you are innocent and perfect and accept yourself just the way you are, just like when you were a baby. And if you have trouble with that, if you just can't get there, I trust me on this, if you stand in front of a mirror and do that every morning naked like I suggested, and saying I love you and I'm innocent, and I accept myself wholly and completely, that will help erase and let go of some of that trash in your trash compactor. And the more you do it, the more you release. And those triggers that happen to you on a daily basis will not trigger you either at all or very little. Because it's falling in love with yourself again. And those of you who know me and do my classes and have been around this work, you know I don't talk about falling in love. I talk about orbiting in love, as Buckminster Fuller talked about, orbiting in love. But this is orbiting in our own love for ourselves. It's falling in love with who we are. It's orbiting in love with me, And that will stop the self-sabotage. Because remember that guilt demands punishment. If you feel you're guilty or ashamed about something, you will absolutely attract punishment to you. Either yourself or others will punish you. Another tool that I'm going to give you, there's a worksheet that you can do. It's a worksheet for healing guilt and shame. And this comes from my friend that I worked with for years and years. He's also a graduate of Essence of Being. His name is Colin Tipping, and he does Radical Forgiveness. And he has created a worksheet that we use in some of our classes. This is the Radical Self-Forgiveness Acceptance Worksheet. And if you would like a copy of this worksheet, all you have to do is email me, burge@essenceofbeing.com. That's BURGE @essenceofbeing.com. And I will send you this worksheet that you can use as well. I don't like calling it worksheets, but he does. I call it play sheets because I like to play. The other thing that I'm going to give you all for being on the call tonight is if you text on your phone 96000, that's 96,000, 96000, text that number and type in the message, Burge, B as in boy, URGE. Just type that in the message, Burge. That will give you 4 free videos downloaded to your phone. You'll get 4 free videos of 3 steps to wealth and 3 steps to prosperity. There's 2 videos that come in that are introductions, and the last 2 videos coming in are actual instructional videos in how to create wealth, 3 steps. So those are 4 free videos that you can have. But remember, if you want this Radical Self-Forgiveness from my friend Colin worksheet, just email me, burge@essenceofbeing.com, and I will send you that over so that you can have that as well. So I hope that you got something out of this hour to really boost you to say, hey, I am innocent. Yeah, I can do it. Yes, I accept myself for who I am. Because really, 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 really just focus on what would life be like if I, as Deanna says, am pain-free. What would life be like in my life if I could just let go of punishing myself or having others punish me? And the way to get there is feeling innocent and reframing that for yourself, about accepting yourself. Because we are human beings, not human doings, and remember that you make a difference. That whatever you're doing in your life, you make a difference, and that you matter, and that you're important. And the world would be totally different if you were not here. So if you believe in the universe or God or Great Spirit or higher self or whatever you want to call all of that thought or belief or spirit, if you believe in any of that, just ask yourself, did that spirit or that creator or that universe, would that really create something so horrible in me wouldn't that be creating a perfect thing? If God is perfect and God created me and I am part of that creation, or if I'm a universal, divine, walking spirit of something, wouldn't it be innocent and perfect? that might be the philosophy question of the day is, gee, I don't know. You just might want to ponder that for a while and decide. I always thought about platypuses. Why did they create, how did platypuses get here? I'm so confused. But they're perfect. And I'm not a platypus, okay? I could have been here as a platypus, but, So I am innocent. And I accept myself for who I am, and thank goodness I'm not a platypus.
Hey, Burge.
Yes.
Hey, this is Antonio. Can I just say something to you and to everyone really quick?
Sure. Quick.
Yeah, I was, how in most of these calls, or the ones that I'm part of, I'm very quick to participate.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to do that on this call, but then something in me decided not to. And Diana, you spoke, and I just wanted to say that I feel like this is all very purposeful. Nothing happens by coincidence, because my grandmother passed today, and her name was Diana. So it's just a little reminder to me from the universe that everything is happening perfectly. I'm not here by happenstance participating in this phone call in the room I'm in with the shirt I have on. Nothing is random,
I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother, honey, but I know that she feels you and is with you always, hon.
Thank
you for being on the call. And I know that you needed a little boost of self-forgiveness today, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're here, and always, everyone on the call, I'm so glad that you're here, and that I hope that and trust that you get some kind of a boost of power of some sort to be able to continue believing in yourself. Thank you, Antonia, for sharing, honey.
You're welcome.
Burge?
I'm with you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Burge?
Yes.
This is Katie from Connecticut.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. I didn't get a text saying this was happening till about 7:30. Did this actually start at 7?
It did.
It did. Okay. So is there a way to connect?
Yes,
I need to step in here. This is Emily, and I've been dying to ask for forgiveness because I messed up, guys. I'm on a different time zone. I sent the text and realized it was 6:20 my time and 7:20 everybody else's. So please forgive me. I messed that up. It's my fault. So it's quite. You want to talk about appropriate timing for forgiveness?
Oh, that is so awesome, Emily.
Yes, it is awesome. So if you will all forgive me, please. It is more than ironic.
Okay.
It speaks volumes to everything that's going on in my world right now that I need to forgive myself and figure it out. So please forgive me.
We forgive you, Ed.
Thank you. You are forgiven.
That is so awesome. I love the irony. But the good news is we're recording it, everybody. So what I'm going to be doing is putting the recording up on our Essence of Being Facebook page, not the groups, but the actual Essence of Being Facebook page, so everybody can get in there and just download the recording if you want and click on it, okay? So you're not going to miss anything. So you can go to our Facebook group tomorrow, not the group, the fan page, Essence of Being, and you'll be able to hear the entire thing. So no worries there. And that's so cool, Emily. Thank you for don't say it's my fault. Just say, hey, I take responsibility.
I take responsibility fully.
And
I'm not alone.
And I'm not alone. And thank you for the opportunity to ask for forgiveness.
Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. And so everybody just know that these power calls are always at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
every Wednesday?
Yeah, and it's the third Wednesday of every month. This is the only month where it was the fourth Wednesday because I was in Malaysia doing Essence of Being there. Just got back.
In Malaysia.
I'm leaving for Canada tomorrow to do Essence of Being. And we'll be doing Essence of Being in Fort Lauderdale April 10th, 11th, and 12th. And Essence of Being April 17th, 18th, and 19th in Atlanta. And then I'm back to Malaysia again doing it and doing South Africa. Just look at our website, essenceofbeing.com or eobinternational.com. And you'll be able to see all of the places that we're going to be in doing all different kinds of programs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so every third Wednesday for the rest of the year, I will be on the call at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, and I love all of you. I just think that's so awesome. And let me know, remember, Burge at essenceofbeing.com if you want that worksheet. And I imagine there's going to be mirrors all around the country and all around the world looking at naked people tomorrow morning. So have at it.
Hey, Burge, what was the text message we send?
Yes.
What number do we send the text message to for the videos?
96000. So just text 96000 and type in the message Burge, B-U-R-G-E.
Got it.
Yeah. Awesome. See, Emily, I do say it.
I know. Everything's divine. And just so you know, when you text that, you're going to get a link, and you just have to put in your email address and everything, and that'll get you. That'll send those to you. That'll send you the link.
I already got it.
Awesome. You guys are rocking and rolling, and the Essence of Being family and the Healing Forest family is growing. So now we're just come play with us anywhere in the world that we're playing. And those of you who have not taken advantage of playing with us in that field, come on. We've got plenty of places for all of you. So I hope to see all of you very soon because I'm going to be all over the place. So
I miss you, Burge.
I miss you too, Katie. Bye, KK. All right, you guys, love you. Take care. And
love you.
For the Facebook.
Love you.
Good night, everybody.
Love you.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Love you, Burge.
Love you, honey.
Hey, Burge, it's Stephanie from New York. Miss you.
Hey, Steph! New York!
Thanks, guys.
Miss you, too. Love you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Burge.
Thank you, Burge.
Love you. Connect. Love you.